Assalamu alaikum. How are you? I hope you must be fine. We are studying resume. In fact, we are studying communication that takes place when we go for employment. In the last two lectures, we have discussed in detail about career planning, about preparing resumes, and we have discussed in detail that what are important elements for preparing a resume. I mean, what things need to be included into a resume, and in what way they should be presented to the prospective employer. How can we attract the attention of the prospective employer? So we discussed different types of resume, that chronological and functional, and a combination of two. We have so far discussed all things quite theoretically. We haven't yet read any resume. So let's look at the format of a resume. Though you won't find anything in it, I mean, this is not a resume of any particular person. I have just given main headings that are normally included in functional or chronological resume. The basic purpose behind it is to make you aware how to write these things on your on a piece of paper when you are writing a resume, and then we'll discuss how you can best fill in these gaps. So if you look at this, you'll find that in the beginning, in a chronological resume, you have to write the name and address and your contact numbers. So this is the heading of the resume. As I told you in the last lecture, that we don't use the word resume at the top of the page, because it is quite obvious from the appearance, the way the information is set out on a paper, that it's a resume of a certain person. So we need not write the very word resume. So then we write the objectives. So it's a chronological resume, so you see that the main headings are coming in the middle, right? So you find that we have objective, and under this heading you will write your objective or objective summary, as we discussed. As I told you, it shouldn't be a complete sentence, it should be a phrase. So after objective, you'll go through for the experience. Since it's a chronological resume, shows the picture of your employment history in the beginning. So just after your objective, you give history of your employment. So you see that it goes in a reverse order. You start from the present to the past. You start from the job that you are doing presently, and then you go back into the past, right? So you see that this goes. I've just shown bullets in which you will be filling out the information, I mean any information that you would like to fill in. The way it is being given, your present job, your past job, and then you write about your education. Again, education goes into reverse order. First you start with your highest education, whether it's graduation or it's a post-graduation degree, whatever it is, you start, and then you just, normally we don't go to education lower than secondary education. Then you give personal details. Personal details tell more about you, and as we discussed, personal detail again is something optional. In some resume you like to give, and in some resume you may avoid giving any personal details. And then you talk about any technical skill, language skill that you have. So this has language and technical skill. You tell that you have a command of such and such languages, you have certain technical skills like you can operate computers, use certain software. So this was a format of a chronological resume, and this tells you that in which order you have to give information about yourself, where you have to put in education, where you have to put in experience and your other personal details or language or technical skills. You will be making a resume of your own. Rather, in the next assignment, you may be asked to prepare a resume of your own, so that we could see that what have you learned from these lectures. Remember that whenever you are writing resume, the main things that you have to take care of is that you have to organize the whole information very chronologically, and you have to emphasize on the important point. You have to catch readers' attention. This is the focal point of your writing this resume. I mean, reason for writing your resume, you have to capture the attention of your reader, your prospective employer, or any person who is in the process of this reading your resume. So you must provide all the specific information about your duties, about your education, about your work experience, about your skills that you have learned. I mean, anything that you can be proud of or that you can give to your prospective employer, and that can help him in making a certain decision about you. So tell everything about you, and while you are telling these things to your employer through this resume, you have to use a very active language. We talk about that your sentences should be crisp, and you have to write a direct style. You have to describe all the duties that you've been doing throughout your working life. Then be very precise that your resume must be concise, must be very readable, and most of all, you have to avoid I, the pronoun I. Don't say that I worked, I managed, or anything, as we discussed that in resume we don't use this I pronoun. And try to avoid using unnecessary words. So whenever you are writing your chronological resume, you have to follow these steps. You have to take care of these things, on all those things that we discussed in the last lecture and the lecture previous to the last. Next to this chronological resume, we have functional resume, and I'm going to show you again a format of a functional resume, and you'll see that how things are set out on a piece of paper. So it begins or starts in the same way with the name, address, and this address has your number, your office number if there is one, and any information regarding yourself that helps the reader to reach you. So after this section, this heading, you come on to the objective. Objective, as always, should be in a phrase, not in a sentence. Then you give relative skills. I mean, the purpose of writing a functional resume is to begin with the skills, because you don't have a long history of employment, right? So you want to impress your employer with your skills, with your achievement that you have during your academic career. So then comes the heading education. Then you tell about work experience, and mind it, this work experience includes every type of work that you might have done as a student in your curricular or extracurricular activities. We have discussed a lot about this fact. After leadership experience, you have personal details, you talk about yourself, and then you write about your references. As discussed, this section is again optional. You may or may not like to include. So this is a complete format of your resume, your functional resume. So I would like you to fill in all the missing information. Just try to make resumes of yourself, one chronological and one functional, and try to match these two things and see that how far you've been successful in making your resume and learning all the things that we've been discussing so far. So after these two formats of resume, let's discuss a resume which was written by, let's say, somebody, and we see whether it's a correctly written resume or it is short of some good characteristics. I mean, compare this resume with all the tips, all the guidelines, and all the discussion that we have made so far, and see that what are faults in this resume. Naeem Ahmed, 5687 Crosswood Road, Lahore. Then we have a home number and an office number, and this starts so. I have been staff accountant, financial analyst at AZ Corporation, Islamabad from March 1999 to present. I have negotiated with major suppliers. I speak both English and Urdu fluently, and I was recently encouraged to implement an electronic funds transfer for vendor disbursement. In my current position, I am responsible for preparing accounting reports. I have audited financial transactions. I have also been involved in the design of computerized model to adjust accounts for fluctuation in currency exchange rates. I'm skilled in the use of Excel, Access, HTML, and Visual Basic. Was staff accountant with ABC of Agricultural Chemical in Quetta, October 1995 to March 1999. While with ABC Quetta, I was responsible for budgeting and billing. I was responsible for credit processing functions. I was also responsible for auditing the travel and entertainment expenses for the sales department. I launched an online computer system to automate an accounting function. Also, during this time, I was able to travel extensively in the country and abroad. I have my Masters of Business Administration with emphasis on international business, which I learned attending the Provincial University. Bachelor of Business Administration Accounting 1991 to 1993, earned while attending a college in Lahore. So, if you look at this resume, you'll find that this resume is quite different from all those guidelines that we've been discussing. It doesn't have any heading. All the information about work experience, about qualification, about experience, about any skill, they are just mixed up, jumbled up. The reader of this resume will find himself in difficulty in understanding the true picture of the sender of this resume. We told you that normally it is less than 45 seconds with a reader of a resume. So in 45 seconds, if the information is not listed in such a way that impresses the reader, the resume is going to fail its purpose. So you see that this resume lacks a lot of things. It doesn't have any objective. It does not list the information in a logical order. The information given is not given under any heading. Education is mixed up with the qualification, and they are mixed up with other things. All sentences normally, not all, but most of the sentences begin with a pronoun I, which we've been stressing you not to use. The vocabulary, the sentence I was responsible, this type of a sentence does not show action. So as I told you that you have to bring action words into your resume. So this is a sort of assignment for you. Take this resume and rewrite it, making it a very perfect, a very good resume, omitting all the things that needs to be omitted, bringing each information under its appropriate heading, and then send it to us. We'll see that what have you done. It may be one of the questions on your assignment. So this is the second stage of this employment communication. First was planning career, and the second preparing resume. After planning your career, you have written your resume. Now you switch on to the next step, and that is cover letter or job letter, job application. There are so many names for this. Basically, there is a difference between a resume and a job letter or a cover letter. In resume, you set out the information in a very sketchy manner. You just give sketches, write incomplete sentences. You do not relate your information to the job that you are applying for. In a way, you don't have much margin to tell more about yourself, your ability to handle the job that you are applying for in your resume. Whereas in the cover letter or job letter, you have this facility to present your skill the way you would like them to present. You can give your own style to your communication in cover letter. So whenever you are writing for any job, always send your resume with your cover letter. Cover letter, in fact,